and more state control. We got to get more local governments involved and wrestle some of the power away from Washington. Washington is impersonal. Washington, the Department of Education, HHS, whoever it is, they don't know what's good for Cicero, New York. All they can come up with is a huge plan where one size fits all and the rules apply to everyone, and it doesn't work. And so this here says $711 billion of health care to the poor. Where are those cuts? If they're talking about block granting Medicaid to the states, that's giving the states more power to decide what Medicaid program they're going to have, what Medicare services they're going to provide, how they're going to execute. That's the way it should run. Right now, and we touched about unfunded mandates, the federal government with Medicaid pays 50%. The states pay 25%, the county pays 25%. How are your property taxes these days? These unfunded mandates are going to kill the counties and kill the states. And so if you take that money from the federal government and you say to the states, here, you're in charge of this money, we're going to get out of the business. Think of how much money we'll save if we don't have a federal administration down there running the show. And I'll take right now talk about education. Same thing with education. We've got a Department of Education that's not responsible and is not having a good result. And I'm so pro-public education because I think that's another legitimate role of the government. That is a moral responsibility to make sure kids are competitive and they can compete in the global market. But we're failing. The billions and billions of dollars that go down to that Department of Education to come back to the local school district with strings attached is failing. This race to the top. I met with the Auburn superintendent of schools. He said, race to the top. And we up in upstate, we have because of the formulas, we are all severely disadvantaged. He said they gave me $7,000 to execute this race to the top program in Auburn schools. He said, I can't even hire a part-time person. And yet I've got all of these things I've got to do to comply with race to the top. Education should be far more state-oriented and local-oriented. Department of Education doesn't know what's good for Cicero North Syracuse High School and the Cicero schools. It should be local. We'll save a ton of money not having a bureaucracy in Washington, and we return power to the states. Going back to the gentleman's question about what the United States of America should look like, it should be one where the states have more power, and we wrestle a lot of the power away from the federal government and get them back to their legitimate roles, national security and protecting our rights.